guys, it's Kugli again with another ROM review, and this time I've got the RevengeOS for the OnePlus 3, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the RevengeOS. Now let's be very clear, I don't have much experience with this ROM. Didn't even know there was a thing called the RevengeOS, which is interesting because this is one of the most unique ROMs which I've come across in my time as having a custom ROM. So let's get started. So first of all, what you see here is the lock screen. Ambient display is available for the new notification, no hand wave, pocket mode, anything like that, so just keep that in mind. This is the launcher. The launcher is the step launcher. For some reason it doesn't have the swipe down to remove the recent menu, so I would have liked to have that. Now let's go to settings. Now in the settings menu, in the about phone page, you can see that it is the OnePlus 3. It is the Android version 9. The RevengeOS is the name of it. It is called Pasta. It is the official version released on 9th of July. So that is pretty much it in the about phone page. SLS status is enforcing if you are interested in that. So as I've already said, I don't have much experience with it, but this seems to be a very interesting take on Android and the UI. First thing which I noticed about this ROM is the entire UI is kind of different and not similar to any other Pi ROM which I've tested. Now first thing, just look at the header on the quick setting panel, which is really cool. I mean, it looks like nothing which I've seen before. The weather on this header part of the quick setting panel is one of my favorite feature back from Nougat days, so I really like it. One thing is that there is no customization available for it. Let's get to the features now. First of all, before that, everything is working. VOLD has been working pretty well. One thing which I do want to mention is that you will have to go, after flashing the ROM, go to app and notification, go to default app and select the phone app. If you don't do that, you will not get any calls and the dialer won't be working, so just keep that in mind. All the extra features are inside the customization options. Let's go there. The status bar options, status bar items can be customized. You can enable, disable all of these options, which is pretty neat. Status bar battery styles are available. You can have any of these options. Battery percentage is available. Traffic indicator is available, which you can enable and disable. As you can see, it is pretty basic one. You do have option for uplink, downlink, and also both of them, which does work out. In the miscellaneous extensions, you can enable or disable VOLD icon. It does have the OnePlus style VOLD icon, which does work out really well. Show data disable icon, you can enable or disable the cross icon on the network signal indicator. Status bar gesture for double tapping on the status bar to sleep. Quick setting pull down is available if you want to have a quick pull down. And the notification panel, notification options are available where you can customize the heads up options, so you have timeout and snooze timer. Battery options are also available where the battery light can be customized in the 4 colors. Navigation options, you do have a navigation bar. You can use a navigation bar. It should be pretty neat. It is a basic option. It doesn't have smart bar of link settings or anything of that sort, but it is what it is. Works really well for those who still want an app bar on this device. Edge gestures are also available if you are someone who's coming from something like MIUI and you want to use that. Lock screen options are available where you have lock screen UI. You can customize a few things here. Disable quick settings, which is basic. Face auto unlock is available for those who are still using the Google face unlock feature on the device. Double tap on the lock screen to sleep is available, and the weather unit can be customized for temperature. Lock screen shortcut can also be customized where you have the left and right shortcuts. Now I personally have kept it to 0 because I don't want anything there, so it works. Apart from that, in the system options, you do have button customization. Power menu can be enabled. You can have advanced restart, one hand mode, lockdown. All of these options are available where you can customize that. Screen off power button torch is available with the automatic turn torch off, which is pretty neat. Link to screen brightness for the bright backlight options are available. All of these options are available. Now back button, home button, and overview button can be customized. One thing which I do want to mention, there is no swap the button option. You do have an ADB command which you can use. Personally, I just change it from here, so you in the recent button, you in the back button option, you can select recent, and in the overview button you can press back. I would like to have a swap button, which is much easier. It doesn't break anything else. Volume rocker customization is available for the playback control and also volume rocker wake. No keyboard cursor control or any of those fancy stuff. That is pretty much it in the customization options. In the display options, you do have options like live display, which is really cool. It does have color profile, which does really well. Reading mode and all is available, which does work work really well, and it is pretty cool. Look and feel is a very interesting feature about this ROM. I want to cover that more in the aesthetic field because it is an aesthetic ROM, so we'll cover that more. Font size and display size can be customized here. Ambient display is available. You can enable or disable that for the new notification also, and also always on is available. There is no pickup, hand wave and pocket mode sensor, which I would have loved to have. Display cutout settings available if you want something to do with it. I'm not entirely sure why you would do that, but whatever, it is there for the OnePlus 3 also. Apart from that, security options, I do want to mention that I am running an encrypted device, so it does work on encrypted devices, no problem. System options, you do have gesture settings in which a double tap on the power button for camera is available. Swipe up on the home button is available if you want to have that option, and also full gesture mode is available, and double tap to sleep on the navbar is available if you're someone who uses navbar, so that's there. Swipe to screenshot is available, which is the 3-finger swipe, which does work interestingly well, and it is fixed for scrolling automatically. That is pretty much it in the settings menu and about the extra features. As you can see, it's not the most feature rich ROM. It isn't much of a feature rich ROM. It has these essential features which are available. For me, a lot of essential features are also missing. Status bar settings for the clock is not available, where you can enable or disable the AM/PM indicator, which I would have loved to have. I mean, these are a few things which are missing in this one, but this kind of feels like a very unique ROM for very specific kind of usage or for a specific kind of person. I just happen not to be falling in that category, but it is there for someone. One thing which I do want to mention is that the alert slider is not working, and there is no setting available. I'm not really sure why, because the developer has mentioned with this update that alert slider was fixed. Also, screen off gestures are not visible or not available anywhere. I cannot see any of that either. Apart from that, these are the quick setting panels which are available. So you do have cafe, you have recorder, gaming mode is available, live display is available, high brightness is available if you want to use that. There are features available with this which does work really well. Now, as you can see, when long pressing the high brightness mode, it does get me to OnePlus settings, but I don't know how to access this one, because that is where you will find the screen of gestures, alert slider settings and all that. Not really sure where the option is. I tried to search on the search settings. It does come up here, but I just can't access it, so I'm not really sure where I have to go look for that. Now, the battery life of the ROM. The battery life of the ROM is pretty decent. Not gonna say this is the most battery friendly ROM available. This definitely is not. I've been using this for about a day and a half now, and battery life is somewhere where I would say is okay for a 3-year-old device. I'm getting almost 16 to 17% of active rate, which is fine. The idle rate is somewhere around 1.7 to 1.8% also. Not the best, but by far not the worst either, so I'm really happy with that. Now, the performance of the ROM. The performance of the ROM is pretty cool. I'm getting about 162,000, which is nice, which is where I would select on the higher echelons of the Pi ROMs which I've tested on the OnePlus 3, which does work out really well. I did run PUBG on this one. It is better than RevengeOS, what I would like to say. That is what I would like to say. It does work better than how RevengeOS worked for me, but I wouldn't really say that this is much better. Something like Skydragon, where I did get constant 60 or 30 FPS. This does drop below 30 FPS when you're driving around in vehicles and all that. Almost 22 to 20 FPS is what you will get constantly. Still much more playable than what I was getting with the previous two ROMs, so just keep that in mind. Now, the stability of the ROM. Now, the stability of the ROM is pretty good. I do want to mention that I did have a few stuttering issues with this ROM, where the user of this phone just asked me why the phone is so slow. Never heard from them asking about the performance or the stutterings on the ROM, so I did check it out. It had to do with the phone. Whenever she was trying to make a call, it just the dialer didn't come up. That was the problem. You will have to enable the default app phone if you want to use it. Apart from that, everything has been pretty much same. One thing which I kind of forgot is that it does have an OTA updater, which is really cool. If you know, I have been really stressing out about OTA updaters because I want that. OTA updaters is one of my favorite features about a custom ROM right now, because it just works really well. Now, the camera. The camera on this phone is pretty decent. It is a Lineage camera which works decently well, has a bunch of features, takes photographs, takes videos as it should. I'm not going to have any issues with it. It just works decently and how it should, and I'm just happy with it. You can of course use Google camera and get a much better photograph or picture experience with it. Now, the aesthetics of the ROM. The aesthetics aesthetics of the ROM is pretty unique. I mean, just look at the ROM. It is rounded, it is transparent, the colors are very different. So let's get a little bit more into it. So in the look and feel settings is where you will get that. You can enable dark mode, which is pretty much same. You can use the dark mode themes, which is really cool. It works really well. And if you want to have the black AMOLED dark mode, which also works really well, so you can use that. Now, the color scheme is what got me interested really well into this. You can see that none of the colors are just solid colors. Now this one is called Hyakimaru, which is really cool. Now if you select something like a Sea Storm, which I am going to select and check now, it is blue purple-ish color. If you want something like, okay, let's see lavender, let's see how that turns out. So it's purple, blue and all that. There are a lot of things which you can check out and it works decently well. I'm really happy with the color options and the aesthetics of the ROM. It just works really well, and after using so many Pi ROMs which is just the same colors and all that, I'm just happy to find something different. And again, as you can see, the notification is also dark if you are selecting a dark mode, which is how it should be, and it is how it is. Now the overall experience of the ROM. The overall experience of the ROM is pretty good. Now, as I've already said, there are problems with the ROM. Alert server is not working. The phone app needs to be enabled manually for any calls to happen. These are things which normal people would have any issues with. This is just what I feel like. Apart from that though, it works decently well as a daily driver. I can't really recommend it though for a lot of people. But for the aesthetics, if you are someone who knows what they're doing, if you are someone who wants to use custom ROMs, if you're a flashaholic and you just want a very different experience, the UI is pretty interesting and I like that. There are a lot of interesting features about it which I have not uncovered fully. I would love to use that, so it's just interesting. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a pretty good ROM. Now let me show you guys the boot animation, which is also pretty decent. So here is the boot animation for RevengeOS. Nothing I would say kind of looks like Revenge or anything. I mean, Revenge has a very negative meaning to it, but the ROM is pretty light and pretty interesting. So yeah, I like that. So guys, there you have it. That was the RevengeOS for the OnePlus 3. It's the official version. That's why you will get all the OT updates and all that, which I'm really excited for. I do want to see where this ROM goes now, because it's one of those unique ROMs which has something different from the other ROMs, which has become kind of hard to find in the Android space right now with custom ROMs. I'm really happy about that. So guys, that is about it with the RevengeOS on the OnePlus 3. So hope you guys liked the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.